All right. Hey, I'm Marty. Let's try it again.
Yep. Go.
Ready?
Yep.
Hey, I'm Marty Grabstein, Courage the Cowardly Dog. No, one more time.
Go.
Anytime, right?
Yep, anytime. Just go.
Hey. Wait, hold on a second. Is this television land?
Oh, it's YouTube.
What's it?
YouTube.
YouTube?
YouTube.
It's YouTube.
Yes.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Hello, all you people out there in YouTube land. This is Marty Grabstein, the voice of Courage the Cowardly Dog, and you're watching HWWS Web TV. Hey, who you hanging with?
Welcome to the Hangin with Web Show Live. I'm GW Amateur, and you're watching it as you just heard HWWS Web TV. We have got a dog of a show for you tonight.
Wow.
Yeah,
I think you're barking up the wrong tree.
Oh, okay. Now I know how much it hurts. Okay, don't. All right, guys, right here, the leader officially of this motley crew tonight. Welcome, Seiji of the Hangin with Web Show, guys.
Thank you very much. That was much better.
I ran out of dog punch, by the way. I got nothing left.
Oh, that's okay. You can hound me for some later.
I can't stop her. I started it, but I can't stop it.
Not
I just
gonna
want
stop.
you to know, if you're in the chat room, give us your best dog pun because I ran out and I can't stop her.
Make no bones about it. They're going to keep rolling in.
See, I got nothing I can do. I can't do anything about this. No matter what you people say in the chat, I can't stop this. So let's just get to our guest because, our guest tonight is a special friend of the Hangin with Web Show family.
Yes.
We first met a couple of years ago on the convention circuit. When you meet so many people out there, and every once in a while you make a friend that you can connect with.
You just click.
You do. And it was awesome. It really was. And he brought so much humor and so much fun.
We had a howling good time.
I got nothing, guys. There's nothing I can do. I let her on the show just this one time. I said, yes, you can come out here and play. And this is what this is.
It's going to get better once we bring our guest up.
It is.
Yes.
Guys, please welcome character actor, voice actor, all around great guy, and a great friend of the Hangin with Web Show family, Mr. Marty Grabstein. Hello, sir.
Okay, yeah, right. The Hangin with
She's gonna get you.
Come on.
She's on camera now. She's gonna get you with the dub.
We're here. So I just want to make it clear about something. I am now being, basically enlisted to drag you guys out of the hole that you dug yourselves in just now, right?
Yes, really.
Right? It was a combination of me doing all this stop-start stuff, then you going Catskill comedy full out.
See, I mean,
and then Garrett saying, I got nothing.
I got nothing. I gave her 2 dog puns. She just keeps coming.
That's it. Call me Butter because I'm on a roll.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. God bless you guys. Good seeing you.
It is so good to see you, man. It's been a while. Although, guys, in fairness, we did just run into Marty a week ago. A week ago in Orlando.
Yes,
it's a blur, yeah. We were at the Fanboy Expo in Orlando.
Yes.
Loved it. Had a great time. People were out. People were having fun and being with each other and loving each other up and all kinds of good stuff. It was great to see.
It was.
There was a great Marty did such a great video that he posted on his page, and he was just surrounded by children. It was so awesome.
Surrounded by the children.
That happens to us around here too, only I don't like them all that much.
Oh, man.
You look like you were having a great time, though. You really did.
I was. Well, actually, and it was actually a group, Transfiguration Adoption Services, that was actually a charity that David from the Fanboy, is involved with.
Yeah.
And they were bringing over families
Oh, wow.
to the event. So there were these newly adopted kids and with some really loving, caring families, wonderful, the parents were wonderful, and it was just so great to have them come around, and we took pictures, and they got autographs, the whole thing. It was very nice.
That's amazing.
It was great fun for me, and it was great fun for the kids.
You know, when you watch the kids and you watch the fans have such a good, that's what convention life is really all about, isn't it? Going out there and getting to meet these kids.
Absolutely.
And for you, some of these kids are grown now. They grew up on the show.
Absolutely. That's true, actually.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, most of the people that seem to, it's not only, but I would say people in their 20s and 30s, these are the ones that grew up on the show when they were younger and kind of have hit the nostalgia wagon, so to speak. Is there actually a nostalgia wagon? I'm not
sure if there is.
I came up with that. I never really said
was on.
The nostalgia wagon. I didn't know there was. But anyway, well, that's a different. Wait, we still got cat skills going on.
What am I gonna do? I can't stop it. I told her she could sit here.
It's my superpower.
She's charming as hell, so you gotta keep her there, man.
Yeah,
she's cute.
You got no choice.
Yeah, this makes wonderful. It makes me having her here doesn't make me look good because she's cuter, but it does make me sound better.
Ooh, I won't address that one.
Wow,
that's a tricky one. I won't get involved in that. I'll just pass over that.
Yeah. So
Garrett, though it appears as if you got nothing, let's see if you could dredge something up for this interview. What do you think?
Yeah. Let's see what I got here. Let me see. So, guys, for y'all that don't know, we haven't told you yet. So I know that you know this, but we haven't told you. Marty is the voice of Courage the Cowardly Dog. But you know what? He's also a character actor, and he's brought many characters to life in his career. Marty, let's dive into that. Let's talk about the career a little bit. How did you get started as an actor? Did you start on stage, in film, television? Where did you start?
Oh, wow. Going that far.
We're going to dive right in, man. We're going to do that. This is the deep dive. This is the personal stuff. I'm like Barbara Walters. I got to make you cry.
This is not short sound bites for the Instagram group, but the Instagram group is very welcome to be here.
Absolutely.
I almost choked on that one. Okay. Get rid of clean those droplets up, kids. There are a lot of droplets went in that direction. Okay.
Hey, I think I got some on me over here. What?
I got this.
Yeah.
You're supposed to wear a mask.
The only way out of this, my friend. Out of this. Let the droplets fly where they may. Anyway, all right. So anyway, here's what I'm gonna say. I actually got started. Believe it or not, I mean, it was sort of like no choice for me. From the very beginning, it was just the right thing for me to be, oh wow, now I got a single. It's just me. All right. Anyway. So, basically I got started with, as a kid, I remember listening to the big fan of the Wizard of Oz, right? So I was listening to the cast album, and I decided I would just recreate it for my parents and my uncles and aunts, and I would perform the whole cast album of the Wizard of Oz. I knew that I just had to be in front of people. It was really, just seemed to be the right thing for me. And it was just always something that in whatever way, community theater. Then I went to college and studied theater, which really tremendously prepared me for the world that I was going to face later.
Yeah, that was a fun I'll bet you that was a fun conversation. Hey, Mom.
That was a wasted major to become a theater. I should have been a psychology major, which is what I had intended to do. Really? I've been a psychology major and still done all the plays I wanted to do. By the way, am I allowed to curse on this thing, or no, you just block it out?
Yeah, no,
yes.
Wait. Can you do this sound? Boop, boop. Okay, good. She's got you.
I mean, if I slip, because I almost slipped just now because I was pissed off a little bit, but the psychology major part. But anyway, okay, you don't need to know that. Wait, am I drinking now? Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can drink. That's fine.
Listen, after a while, the the cast album of The Wizard of Oz only holds so much, currency with the people watching the show right now. Let's face it.
Pay
Guys,
no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Please leave in the comments if you would like to hear Marty perform the cast album from The Wizard of Oz.
If I were the king of the forest.
That was fantastic.
Not all right. Enough of that. Enough of that. All right. So anyway, I did that. Went to college, studied theater, came out, and I was just always bouncing around, doing showcases. Doing regional theater. I did summer stock. A lot of stage stuff, banging around this and that. I did a comedy show, which was kind of a turning point for me. It's kind of something that I think speaks to, what this business seems to be about more and more as the years go on, which is, if you really want to get somewhere, it used to be you do a show and you get an agent to come see you, and maybe if you're lucky, the agent will come and they'll like you and they'll want to represent you and get you to where the juicy auditions are. But ultimately, that's a real tough thing to do, right? You're only performing, 5 shows and they can't come? Done. So I decided I want to be performing all the time. So I put together a sketch comedy duo with a partner, a guy named Rick Mowat, who I'm still very close friends with right now. And we continue to do creative things together on film and such. And we became, kind of incredible. We wrote our own material. We bounced around. We did a whole lot of stuff all over New York City in the club circuit. And we actually made some noise. We did a full-length play featuring the best of our material that we had, with a very, very short, very like kind of a framing device, a kind of a little house of cards framing device to kind of pull it together. And no, I don't mean like House of Cards, like the show House of Cards.
Yeah, no, it could be. It's the House of Cards only with comedy, because they're not very funny.
No,
you're funny.
No, I mean, just sort of a very loose framing device. Yes. But anyway, and we actually did well. We started getting a whole lot of reviews and this and that. And ultimately, that began the process of me seriously getting work. Late in the game, getting work in the business, getting television work. A whole lot of television work on the as character actor, bouncing around. I keep saying bouncing around because that's what I do. I bounce around. Anyway,
from show to show. I'll tell you what, though,
show, Law and Order and Special Victims, all that stuff. Boy,
we were looking at your IMDb, man. You have spent more time in a police precinct. You should have an honorary membership to the mafia.
I should actually. That's very good.
Hey, don't.
It's very good. I was just recently on Blacklist, my friend.
Yes, right. That was awesome.
As a criminal mastermind hotelier.
Yes, exactly.
Hotelier, really, how nice. That sounds much better than motel owner.
Yeah, he was a motel owner, but he did.
But Courage really was, really kind of turned the corner for me more than anything else, and that came out of this. If you want the next question would probably be. So how did you get Courage?
That's right. How?
I kind of created
the voices in all of the towns in all of the world. How did yours end up with Courage?
Does anybody understand that he was just referencing Casablanca? Does anybody understand that? I understood. You understood that. And all the gin joints and all the world, you had to walk into mine. All right. Anyway, very good, my friend. Mm-hmm. See, I got your back, Garrett.
You got my back. That's good. As I'm in a whole lot of trouble. I dropped those 2 dog puns, and it's over now, baby. So you got to keep helping.
It's better coming out of Sage anyway, the dog pun.
Thank you. It's always better coming out of me.
Yeah. So
I got nothing.
So that being said, so what happened was, it's interesting. I hope when I flew through my credits, so to speak, when I gave you all my resume.
Wait a minute.
What?
We can stop him there. We can do a very quick visual rundown for all of our viewers of Marty's credits.
We can.
Yes.
We actually do. We had
because he was just talking about
guys. For you guys that don't know, and I know a lot of you do. You follow the arts and the entertainment industry. But all of you know, not just on IMDb or whatever, but a lot of actors put together what we like to call a sizzle reel or a film reel that shows some of their top credits. And we actually do have a reel like that for Marty.
You do. I stole it from Marty.
That's right. So before
you got it. You don't have the most updated ones, though. You have some of the
I don't know. I actually don't think so.
You
have so much hair in this and such a baby face. I can't tell. I think these are.
Oh,
I don't
would
know
you like
if it
me
was
to
just,
smack him for you?
I mean, I know you just got the haircut and all, so it's growing out. He's got so much curly hair.
The haircut and all. But anyway. But just before, should I continue?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do the.
Yeah.
We'll do the clips on the other end.
I don't want to get in. I don't want to step on your technique.
No. Let's go ahead and we'll play the clips.
I'll do that.
We'll
don't
come
worry.
back and we'll talk more about courage. That's a great idea.
All right. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and play this because this is here we are with Marty's film reel.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Raccoon or not, you're not getting this pie.
Stupid dog.
Friday morning, Puerto Rican. Spoke English pretty good, but prescription medicine must have been a term he didn't understand.
He wanted a prescription filled?
Well, he brings in a Percodan vial from the Bellevue ER issued the day before. It says no refills right on the label, but then he starts giving me some bull about how they said he could get more pills if he was still in pain.
Full restitution. Counselor, nobody forced Mrs. Feinberg to pay for Arena's services.
True. Problem is,
According to New York Penal Code, fortune-telling for amusement is completely kosher. No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he did
Yes, he
not.
did.
He did not.
Yes, he did.
You don't know what you're talking about. We've been arguing about this all day long. Patty didn't get us. He did not. You don't know.
Hold on, I'm no damn baby raper.
Right, hanging around a playground, taking pictures of little kids is a normal pastime for a grown man.
I was working. I'm a PI.
You don't need ID to buy donuts.
he ever come in with anybody?
No, people who come in at 4 in the morning usually aren't the social type.
He ever say what he was doing here at 4 a.m.?
No. Now can I go back to work?
On top of everything else he's facing, you want him to perjure himself?
Oh, man, you're screwed.
So I have one observation, Marty, real quick.
Yes.
Yes. Of all the things, baker, okay,
Pharmacist.
private eye, pharmacist, okay,
Crazy man with a crazy cat lady.
yeah, and
Yeah.
but they didn't let you be a psychologist either.
Oh, so there you have it. Maybe
That's
they're
not
afraid
fair.
of what I might
Those
uncover.
guys, if you're in Hollywood right now, he's always wanted to be a psychologist.
Yeah.
Help a brother out right apart, will you?
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. God bless
what
you.
else he
Thank
was?
you.
He did voices for Veggie Tales.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
No,
you
he
did.
didn't.
Oh, no, you
Didn't.
He
didn't?
said no, he didn't. See,
It's
Mark
a
did the
Now
same
you
mistake.
thing. I
crushed
love
my
it.
dream.
Mark did
It's
the
a
same thing too.
mistake on please.
That's horrible. I was going to ask.
There's a mistake on IMDb. He did not do VeggieTales.
Yes, there's
The
another
other Marty
Marty
Grabstein.
Grabstein in Europe who did VeggieTale.
He
Really?
did VeggieTales, and he's also a trolley driver because this Marty's not.
Oh, stop with the trolley driver. Kill the trolley driver. I made her remove it. You're bringing it up.
That's
All right. So anyway, courage. Do I got to keep
Courage.
it?
How did you get the role of courage?
Courage. So here it is. I was talking about, the comedy act I was doing, and it's kind of interesting because I was getting no money for this, right? Generally speaking, zero money. As a matter of fact, I was spending money. That's what was happening. And, but I was in the industry. I was out there doing my thing, doing what I wanted to do, doing what made me happy, right? And it's, and so somewhere along the line, an old friend of mine that I hadn't spoken to in over 6 years noticed when she looked in the paper that there was a review in Time Out New York, a magazine rather, Time Out New York, about our comedy show, a full-length play. And so she said, I see you're still in the business. And I'm working for this guy, John Dilworth, and he's putting together a new show called Courage the Cowardly Dog. And he's been listening to every voiceover artist in the city about, to try to get the right voice for Courage, and he cannot find it. So I figured at this point, he's making me crazy. I might as well bring you in because you have an interesting voice. And so she brought me in, and within 5 minutes, 2 minutes even, John was like, wait a second, hold on a second. I think we got something. He was laughing from my inputs. It was kind of excitement. And then he said, but do me a favor. Can you pitch it high up here? Yes, I can. And he was like, yes, we got it. Everybody's clapping and laughing. So it was like they basically took a guy with a really scratchy, raspy, lower pitched voice, pitched him high, and that got the job for kind of interesting how that works. But what's the lesson on this? The lesson on this is that do what you love and keep your energy. Keep one foot in, even though if it looks like you're not making any money, you're not going anywhere, so to speak. Keep in and keep doing what makes you happy, what keeps you focused, what keeps you alive. And somewhere along the line, the energy will eventually create itself in such a way it will transfigure into something valuable. So that's what happened for me. So it's a great lesson, I feel.
It is. It's a great
for the kids out there, for you 20s and 30-year-olds who are struggling and feeling lost. And, honestly, just do what you love.
Or
things
if you're 50
happen.
and you're a YouTuber, it's okay. Mom, hear what Marty just said. It's okay.
And wear tighter pants. High voice.
Oh,
okay. Good tip. Pro tip from Sage.
Wear tighter pants.
So,
See, I think we should have gotten a single on that one, Sage.
Very well, yeah.
Thank
He's
you.
right. So you got courage. You went in. They made you take this gravelly voice of yours, which I can't even pretend to. That's why I don't do voices, because lack of talent. Yes. And you pitch it higher, and all of a sudden, your courage. What did you think when you start getting these scripts in, and your courage, man? Your courage, the cowardly dog. Did you think this was going to be? I mean, the kids love it. When we go to conventions, we see the lines in front of the table. They remember you. All these years later, they really do. And I mean, it really became sort of a pop culture staple. Did you think that was ever going to happen? Was that something that you ever dreamed
Not at
of?
all. I mean, not at all, Garrett. I mean, really, honestly, I was just like, I can't believe how exciting this is. There's a cartoon, and the main character of this cartoon is being voiced by me. I was just like, oh, wow, this is crazy. There was nothing there, and now there's something there. It was really very, very exciting. But I didn't think about what it was going to do or how it was going to do. And after the first season, and they said we've been renewed right away, there was a lot of excitement about the show, and I could hear right away it was very, very cool. And so 4 seasons we had out of that, pretty good.
Yeah.
So it was very, very. So I was real happy about. No, I had no idea, and I certainly had no idea that because I only started think about this. Courage stopped, recording shows. I mean, we did record promos. It stopped in 2002. It certainly has been running pretty much everywhere all the time.
Yeah, it's been syndicated ever since.
Somewhere since, everywhere, all over the world. But in terms of, for me, working 2004, 2005, I did some promos for some, revisiting or special nights of Courage, etc. But pretty much stopping then. I didn't start doing the convention circuit until about 5 years ago, really.
Okay.
So I didn't even think about conventions. What am I going to go to? How's that going to happen? But a manager came up to me, and name is James Mullen. Him and Tim Bendig from In Person Pro Productions approached me, and they said, hey, we think that we'd like you to register with us. We think that we do events, and we book people for events, and we would love to have you, and etc. And then it was like, okay. I mean, I didn't think about it, but so it's been nice to be able to do that. First of all, get out of the house, especially,
they
especially
had,
now. I mean,
get out of the house.
Yes. So let me ask you. You came from theater and then television, and now they're handing you this, and you're gonna voice act this. What were the biggest differences for you? What were the things you had to get used to the most about doing voice acting versus doing the acting that you've been doing for so long?
Oh, that's a very good question. I actually, no one has ever asked me a question quite like
It's a
that.
very different experience, I would imagine.
They are all very different. Well, first of all, each one there's a way of working. I mean, basically, in some ways, it's exactly the same. In other words, as an actor, you really need to come from a point of view of, this is what I learned from Freddie Karaman. I always kind of knew this, but nobody put it to me like Freddie Karaman did, this incredible acting teacher that had in 1990 who took me to another level as an actual actor, about a way to work. And it's always kind of come from some kind of response. Every moment that I'm doing anything is a response to something that's happening. It's not like in a vacuum or lines that I'm preconceiving. I mean, it's kind of like something, a reaction, to coming from something. And so ultimately it's always the same, no matter what, whether it's television, whether it's stage, whether it's voice acting. But there are, certain notable, subtle differences in terms of the way you work. Certainly on stage, you got to be a little bit bigger and make sure people can hear you in the back row and see you in the back row. On film and television, especially if it's really close, you got to be careful not to be too, like the way I am right now. The way I'm being interviewed by you right now is not the right way to act if I'm actually acting. Thank God I'm not acting now.
He's an actor.
He's an actor.
He's an actor.
Yes.
All right,
He did some marvelous stuff on the stage during the pandemic.
What's up? All right. Sorry. You gotta keep this place clean, man.
All right. Well, this show has gone to the dogs.
See, they keep rolling. That's right.
It's wonderful. So anyway, yes, certainly that, and so you got to be really small, rein it in small. With voice acting, interesting. There's sort of a little bit of a what's weird about that is I don't have my face. I don't have my face to sell the line, or my body or my face to sell the line. So ultimately, whatever decision is made, it is truly a technical decision, and yet it still has to have some kind of response behind it to make it legitimate, to make it.
And now you talked about response, making acting sort of a response, a reaction to whatever the stimulus is, whatever your thought process is. When you're in the sound booth, is it you and other actors? Are you doing things together? Is it just you? And how do you pull that reaction out when there's nothing to react to except the script?
Well, do you get to see any of the animation while you're
Well, you don't see the animation because the animation has not been done yet. When that happens, essentially they record first, usually. Not always, but almost all the time. They record first and they animate it around the voice. That's the more utilitarian way to do it. So they get the vocals out of the way and then send the vocal and make some edits on it. And then they take that vocal track, animate around that track, etc.
Okay. There you go.
But that being said, to answer your question, Gary, I do have to find a way to be when I say a response, it doesn't necessarily have to be a response to that human being. It's a response to anything. Blue. Look at this blue thing. Blue. It's blue. I see this blue table, and it's like, wow, I tell you right now, in other words, I'm responding something in my environment or even something inside of me. But it's just think of something and you can get a response from that. In other words, it's always you think a thought and then you often respond to it, right? So the only difference is if you're thinking something by yourself, you may not be responding to it verbally, but your face is probably saying stuff based on what's going on inside of you, right? I mean, that is kind of the way it does go.
Right now, I am genuinely concerned about the relationship that Marty has with his blue table. They're
but
very
see-
close. He's a good actor. He conveyed it. They're very, very
See,
close.
he can do that with his facial expressions, and I
See?
know for voice acting, he has to do all the smaller voice
In here.
cues
How-
that
how-
we
yeah.
don't think
So
about.
now
You have to do that. What?
Right. And forget about that. That's a whole other thing.
I read the first page of his script when he was here for Orlando.
Yes, I know.
That's what I was going to ask him next.
Good.
What do you do with that when you're creating that? And how many takes are there when somebody tells you here's a sound I want you to make, but I want you to make it as if you're scared or as if you're. I mean, here's I mean, that's it. That's all you got. Work with that. Find response in that. I mean, how do you do that?
How do I do it, or how many takes? Because you asked a few questions.
Well, how do you do it, and how long does it take you? How many takes?
All right. Well, first of all, sometimes I get lucky and it's right away, but they'll still do another one. They'll say, I think we got that, but let's just do another one for safety. They'll say that's a common terminology. Let's do one for safety. But generally speaking, this is what it'll be. It'll be that I'm inside the recording booth, right? And I'm not holding it, but it's on a music stand, right? I'm looking at it, right? And my vocal director, and most of the time, Peter Fernandez, God bless him. He died quite some time ago, actually, but he was wonderful. He was also the voice of Speed Racer. He was my, the vocal director of the show. So he would say, okay, Marty, so say this. I have a feeling something bad is going to happen, is the line, right? So I'll do it and I'll say, I have a feeling something bad is going to happen. You say, now that sounds good. That sounds good. By the way, just want you to know something, Sage. I just responded to the blue table. I was looking at the blue table and I decided that the blue table is scary. I don't know why.
They have a special relationship.
I had decided that the blue table is scary.
Very special.
So then I took it off the blue table and I looked at it and went, I have a feeling something. So that I endowed the blue table with a kind of imaginary fearsomeness, rather. And then I responded from it, right? He would then say, okay, I think we got that. Let's try it again. But this time, pitch it a little bit higher, and I'll say it again. And it made 3, 4 takes, sometimes 2 takes, sometimes 5. I mean, it depends, I think we got it. That's good. On to the next one. We do it pretty quickly. I mean, here's the reality of it. If you want it on a larger level, I would go in for about 2.5 hours and record 2 cartoons, 2 11-minute cartoons. In 2.5
hours of work, 2 11-minute card, 22 minutes.
What's the longest number of takes you've ever had? Do you remember?
What's the biggest number of takes? I like that one. That's a good question.
Yeah. The biggest. Hold on a second. This. When I go like this, is it looking like, is it messing up the background?
Well,
actually, if you just put your head back a little bit more, it looks like you're in bed.
Yes.
We're like watching you. You're just like, oh, it's so relaxed. Yes.
Marty Grabstein in bed.
How? Oh, please. It's a family show here.
Oh, sorry about that.
We just broke the internet. Come see Marty Grabstein in bed.
Takes.
Me and
How
John
many
Lennon.
takes?
You know, we're just
How many takes?
in bed.
I don't know if that's a good segue or not.
We just list 3 just now.
So there was this one bit where it was just one of the strange. I'll never forget this. It was very, very strange. Courage is, somehow pops his head out of like the ground of, up out of the ground of this forest. I don't know how he got there, but his head is up there and he's looking around and he looks around and goes, like that. There were a lot of those, right? He would do that. And so, he would say, okay, so say it more like you're scared. No, scared. No. It's one word. So we did this kind of variation. I don't think I'm exaggerating this. We did it something like 18, 20 takes for
Wow.
It was not. And it just goes to show you how you can get all this great stuff done, and one little insignificant thing is completely dragging you down. That is also in real life as well, I think. I think
do you Marty, do you watch Courage episodes?
Oh, sure. Yeah, no.
Yeah. What's
Not a lot.
As a viewer, what's your favorite?
As a viewer, well, I'd say 3 favorites, actually.
Okay.
My first favorite is called The Shadow of Courage, because it's the first Courage episode that I ever recorded. So it was very exciting for me. I mean, plus I had a lot of dialogue in The Shadow of Courage in the first episode. As you can see, because Garrett, you read the first page. There was a lot of lines for me.
I did, yes. We actually, because we joked about that at the table, because I started out, I was picking on him. There was a young fan up there, and we were showing the script, and on the first page of dialogue, he has the sound where he's like,
right,
the 30 take sound. But then as it moves on, he's got a lot of dialogue. He's actually doing the voice quite a bit.
So I love that. And also it was the first Courage episode, especially.
Now, was that your first experience in voice acting?
I had done a few commercials before then in voice acting, but
not
never
VeggieTales.
VeggieTales.
Not VeggieTales, and not Wonder Shows in either.
That one I knew.
You knew that?
Yeah.
How did you know that?
Because I knew that because we talked about the trolley driver. I watched Mark B. Lee's Saturday morning cartoons.
I watched Mark B. Lee's Saturday morning cartoons. That's how I knew that he did not ever drive a trolley.
That's how I knew that.
So
too.
internet.
Not only did I never drive a trolley,
anywhere.
Not only did I never drive a trolley, I never drove anything.
You never drove.
Because I don't actually drive, which is ridiculous. More of this anon.
There's a pun in there somewhere, but I want to know the other 2 episodes.
Freaky Fred is certainly the one that's most really creepy, and yet I find it funny as well. He does this shaving. He shaves the fur off of creatures, and he speaks like really naughty, very creepy.
Oh, freaky.
And then the last one is one that seems to be one of everybody's favorites, King Ramses' Curse, because it's really just a truly frightening episode. It had a lot and it had some of these 3D effects in the 2D context, and so it was kind of cool the way they.
What did your family think when they did that? Because I would imagine that you shared the Courage episodes with them too.
What did my family think about just how that I was doing that?
You were the voice.
There you are.
Oh, they were thrilled to death. Everyone was thrilled to death. It was just so, how exciting is this? And it's like, I know this guy. And it was.
That's awesome. Now,
cool.
Guys, if you guys are watching, Marty voiced one of a generation's just wonderful Frady dogs, just frightened and it was great, but
it still had that streak.
That's right.
That's it. That can do.
But you know what? Coming up, one generation's Frady dog meets the ultimate Frady dog.
Absolutely.
Now, dude, you get a call all these years. We want you to bring Courage back, and we're gonna Courage meets Scooby. What were your thoughts, man? Tell me what went through your head when you got that phone call.
Well, when they contacted me, Warner Brothers contacted me and said, "Hey, we're going to be doing a feature film, a crossover event. Scooby Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog." So it was like, finally, they finally got together. Like they should have made a Courage movie 20 years ago. Okay, I'll wait. I figured if I stayed alive long enough,
kept breathing long enough,
and I'll take it. I'm sharing it with Scooby-Doo, who is an icon. I mean, he is an empire in terms of popular culture, and there it is. Straight Out of Nowhere, Scooby Doo.
Straight Out of Nowhere.
Everything
That's
I was
right,
in
guys.
awe.
Guys,
Meets
we're gonna talk.
Courage.
We're gonna talk some more about Scooby Doo meets Courage in Straight Out of Nowhere. But we have a teaser from Warner Brothers we want to share with all of you guys. We're going to play the teaser. We'll come back and talk to Marty a little bit more about meeting Scooby and Courage and all of the fun stuff that he got to do on this feature film. Here it is, Straight Out of Nowhere.
Come on, let's go! We gotta catch up with Scooby-Doo!
In the middle of nowhere, Scooby-Doo found a little courage.
That's me!
It's my friends.
Oh!
And a lot of adventure.
Like, man, this place is totally freaky. Why is the water dripping upward?
Now,
If you're in a situation,
I've never seen cicadas that big before. More weird and creepy mysterious stuff happens in nowhere than anywhere else in the world.
It's on our flag.
getting scared, then welcome to the town that isn't there.
Enjoy.
Yes, ma'am.
there's nowhere to run.
The insects grow to crazy sizes here.
Where creepy is a compliment, bananas is a verb. Bravery, I'm confident, is still a dirty word.
And nowhere to hide.
Gesundheit!
Oh, thank you.
If you're falling down a rabbit hole, the only way so laugh until you cry a bit, and then you get unstuck. Are you nutty as a fruitcake? Are you loony as a tune? Then quit your scowl and do some howling at the moon, like me. Woohoo!
We gotta save Scoob!
Straight Out of Nowhere, Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Woohoo! Jackpot! Watch the masters at work!
Needs more mustard. Excuse me. Must have been something I ate.
Look for it on digital and DVD.
That's awesome, man. That is the internet's been looking for this for a long time.
Yes,
Yeah.
all campaigns. Bring
we
back
were
Courage.
kind of just doing a deep dive diligence into, Courage Meets Scooby-Doo. And I just basically did a search of those words to find out that people have been writing about this for like 5 years.
More than
They've
that.
been- I mean, they just been like, when is there going to be a Courage Scooby crossover?
Yes.
That kind of. So we were looking, that teaser, guys, over on YouTube is in about 5 different upload locations. Not including shows like this where it's embedded in the center, but about 5 different upload locations, and all of them have hundreds of thousands of views and tens of thousands of comments. People who are so excited about this.
Yes.
Marty, man, this is it. It is. People are excited about this. Are you excited to see?
I'm very excited. I mean, I'm real excited. And, the public relations group at Warner has been very, ramping things up with me. I have actually 3 interviews with them this week and 3 different media sources, and I believe 1 next week. And so, I'm real excited about this because, listen, first of all, it's really cool. I mean, they did something that is not that easy to do because really, though they are 2 Warner Brothers dogs, which they are, and Warner Brothers actually, both of them belong to Warner Brothers. They're very different universes, really.
Yeah, they everything from the animation style to the creative universe that it takes place in. It must have been quite a challenge for the writers to say, okay, how do we get these 2 guys, these 2 dogs in the same place?
So what it looks to me they were able to do, and listen, giant cicadas are pretty creepy as far as I'm concerned.
Look, I tell you
How
what.
timely is that, by the way?
I know. I didn't even realize that the cicadas are here for 17 years. It's been.
Yeah, it's just now. Yeah. So, wow.
It's wonderful
timing.
timing.
Super timely. Now, but my thing is this. Of all the things that ghosts, goblins, all the things that Scooby and Courage can face together. Bugs.
Because giant bugs are
giant
scary.
bugs are friggin' scary. That's
right.
right. Giant bugs are friggin'
it's a
scary.
great image. I didn't even see this image. I provided them with it. Warner Brothers gave me that image for you guys to show. That's a wonderful shot. I feel like I gotta reproduce that shot.
Oh, let's show it again.
This is awesome.
Yes.
But anyway, look at that shot. And you know what I love it. Listen, here's the reality of it. You got giant cicadas, right? You got Scooby. Listen, let's tell the truth about this. This is Scooby-Doo has a movie every year, it seems. There have been 45, I believe, Scooby-Doo movies. So this is one more Scooby-Doo movie. So I don't want to, we have to call it what it is, though I think it's kind of different because it's Courage. Yeah. Because it's Scooby and Courage, I believe the resonance that it has with so many Courage fans. And I think I would bet dollars to donuts. I'm talking to you people at Warner Brothers as well. You yourselves may not even be completely aware. Why am I talking? Am I thinking it would give me more credibility? Thank you, Dina, for giving me the solo. I had nothing. Dina gave me a solo. She saw something great was coming. Nothing great came.
That's okay, because Sam had wanted to hear, so we're all square.
That's right.
Yes.
What are the odds that we can hear Courage's voice?
They're good odds.
I know. So that the fans of Courage are very. It's a much larger fan base than my guess is most people would even figure on. I think it's exciting, and I think to the credit of the makers of this film, they feature Courage in this film. He's like the guest star, and so the guest star.
I love that. I always loved that Scooby-Doo back in the day when I was growing up. They had that was when the Scooby-Doo meets. They were always doing that. They meet Frankenstein. They meet. They always met a celebrity. They met the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh yes,
and so 1969 Scooby, right? Yeah. I mean, Scooby's an institution, an American institution.
And they have Courage become a part of that institution now.
Yes.
Absolutely. But Courage has its own kind of more modernistic, darker, edgier sensibility. And the challenge is, I guess, well, first of all, it helps. You got Matthew Lillard, you got Greg Griffin, you got Kate McCucci, you got the great Frank Welker playing his dual role of Scooby and Fred, right? And you get all these wonderful actors, but the idea being that the fact that they shoot it in nowhere, which is Courage's universe. The primary location for this movie is Courage's universe. So they're visiting Courage's universe. I thought that was a brilliant, and frankly, I'm grateful for it. I think it was the right idea. And so it kind of the challenge I would say there, and I'm bouncing around all over with this, but the challenge there I would say would be Scooby, a little more of a family friendly, more for, towards younger kids, towards kids in general, right? Whereas Courage is also for kids, but a little bit sometimes maybe older, teenage, a little darker.
I was going to say my kids were watching Courage when it was on, and they were in their teens, and they were low teens. They loved it. So
right. So it doesn't nothing negates anything else, but it's two very different styles. So I believe what they did was they were beholden to just shave down some of the edges of Courage, just a little bit, not too much. They didn't too much, but they just shaved it down, a little bit of the rougher edges, and for Scooby to reside in more strange-ish, creepy-ish worlds than they usually are.
Helps. I think
that's a wonderful shot.
Being in the Courage universe, being in your backyard, so to speak,
Yes.
It also helps the two animation styles, which are so distinctly different from one another.
Yes.
It helps them merge together a little bit because it's in nowhere where that style belongs.
Exactly.
And then when the Scooby characters come in, they don't disrupt, because it's a softer animation style. It doesn't disrupt the nowhere style.
Interesting point. I hadn't really
Visually,
thought.
I noticed that right away because Scooby has always had kind of those, like you said, family-friendly tones and things, but it's also in the animation style that they use, softer edges and things like that. So he's not disruptive to the nowhere universe that has the harder, more jagged, edgy feel.
Yeah.
And yet, if you tried to put courage, if you put courage in some Scooby-Doo haunted mansion, I think that would be visually distracting because his style, the way he's drawn, so visually different.
Yes. So I mean, I just want to be honest. I have watched parts of this movie because I came in to do redos, the ADR work, to little changes or additional lines or additional moments. I came in at that point, Sage. They did have it all animated, so then I did have to do it and have them like shove the vocal into where the mouth is already moving. But they're able to do that very more effortlessly because they can stretch the sound out, they can shorten it. They're able to, it's amazing what they can do. They can see the sound now.
That's
I know that's able to do that. But I did see the movie, I did see parts of the movie, and I was pleased with the style. I was pleased with it seems to be fun, and yet, as I said, I still think it honors both universes properly, as best you can. A compromise, as Larry David would say, what is a compromise? When both parties walk away unhappy. So I don't no, that doesn't fit here. I just had to say that because the word.
I don't think I ever saw him as a lawyer, so that's
yes,
no, it's true.
No, he was not. He was a counselor, which is very different.
And of course, Jody Gray and Andy Ezra's music.
Yes.
The fact that these were the Courage guys that did the music from Courage, did the music for this movie. And
you know what? That's the perfect segue. Marty, thank you.
You segued yourself. That was
perfect.
beautiful.
You segued yourself because guys, on the internet. Now I don't know about around. We'll talk to him on the other side of this for that.
Okay.
But on the internet, at least, Marty's also not just a voice actor, not just a character actor, not just an actor.
He's got more talent than that.
Actor, a stage actor.
In the theater.
He's also. He's also
Jerry Lewis would say.
He's also a bit of a musician, guys.
Yes.
So enjoy this really quick. When we come back on the other side, we'll talk to Marty about it. Go.
Desmond has his barrow in the marketplace. Molly is a singer in a band. Desmond says to Molly, "Girl, I like your face," and Molly says it's that he takes him by the hand. Obla-dee, obla-da, life goes on. La, 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 life goes on. Obla-dee, obla-da, life goes on. La, 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 life goes on. Desmond takes a trolley to the jeweler's store, buys a 20-carat golden ring, takes it back to Molly waiting at the door, and Molly says it's you. She begins to sing. Obla-dee, obla-da, life goes on. La, 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 life goes on. Obla-dee, obla-da, life goes on. La, 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 life goes on. In a couple of years, they have built a home, sweet home. With a couple of kids running in the yard, Desmond and Molly Jones. Ow! Happy ever after in the marketplace. Molly lets the children lend a hand. Desmond stays at home and does his pretty face, and in the evening he's a singer with the band. Obla-dee,
obla-dee, obla-da, life goes on.
La, la, life goes on. Obla-dee, obla-da, life goes on. La, la, life goes on. and Molly Jones. Ow! Happy ever after in the marketplace. Desmond lets the children lend a hand. Molly stays at home and does a pretty face, and in the evening she's a singer with the band. Whoa! Oh, bloody! Oh, bloody! Life goes on! Blah, la, 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 life goes on. Oh, bloody! Oh, bloody! Life goes on! La, la, life goes on. And if you want some fun, sing Oh, bloody! Oh, bloody! Bloody!
Ooh, wonderful.
You guys.
I love that.
Thank you for sharing that with the internet.
Wonderful.
And that's my son Matthew, by the way, that was there.
Wonderful. Awesome. Yeah,
Lovely
we've
son
heard him in the
Matthew.
background on many phone calls, I
Yes.
think. So it was good to put a face with the name. That's
It
awesome.
was, and that looked like such a fun moment.
It looked
for
like
you
a
guys.
great, just fun time, dude. Now, do you sing very often? Do you enjoy music? And
Yeah, I've been
Well, I
doing
know
that
you
since
enjoy
I was
music.
12 years old, actually. I've been playing
Yeah.
guitar since I was 12 years old. And so I do it just to feel good. And, I have other stuff I've posted, I posted that because that was one of the first, I think that might have been the first one I did. Did that say March or
I
April?
would have to look. Yeah, I'd have to look.
March
I'm
or
not sure.
April. It was one of the
I don't
first
think it
ones.
was the first one though.
It might not have been the first one, but it was, I don't know. I think
No, it's fairly
I'm not
recent.
sure.
Yeah.
But it was an early pandemic thing. And I said, let me just post upbeat songs mostly, or, songs that can make people feel good. So that seemed like a feel good song, right?
It is.
Awesome.
Everybody now is going to be singing Obla Di Obla Da or humming it for the rest of the night. So
That's
you're
right. I'm
welcome.
actually-
You're welcome, internet.
Yeah, I was a little nervous. I was thinking, wait a second, did I do that well? I think I did okay.
You did.
I was like,
great. And you know what? I think the most important thing is you can tell the delivery was good musically, but it was also, you could tell he was having a good time.
Yeah.
yes.
And music is supposed to let us have a good time, right, man?
Yes, it is. And I had about 8 or 9 people on the deck with me at that point.
Oh,
They
that's
were
awesome.
that applauded afterward. They were my family and stuff. So that was very nice to.
That's wonderful, man. That is awesome.
Thanks
Now,
for
let me
bringing that up. You crazy guys, you.
Yeah, well, okay. So, Marty, you are an artist and an entertainer in your own right. But what arts and entertainment do you enjoy? So let's go down a little list. Favorite movie?
Oh. Is this like the end of at the actor's studio?
Yeah.
where he
Oh,
has-
we want to know your favorite stuff. What's your favorite movie? Yeah.
Okay, my favorite movie. I can't say one movie, but I mean, when you ask me to say my favorite movie, it's really hard to say one, but I guess it's somewhere around, I would say, Godfather. As a duo, Godfather 1 and 2, I'm including that as one movie. I view that as one thing, not 3. 3 is a good movie, but it shouldn't be a part of that other two.
It is not the same kind of movie.
No, it's a whole different world. But
Definitely.
Godfather 1 and 2, Casablanca, certainly when you say Casablanca, Maltese Falcon as well. One of my favorite movies, Clockwork Orange. I'm sorry, I'm mentioning 5 movies. I have so many. Training Day. All right, enough.
There's a headline for you, ladies and gentlemen. Marty Grabstein likes the movies.
Yes,
that's
Not
right.
a headline.
Okay, wait a minute.
Well, I want to know what he's watching now.
I was going to say television. What are you looking forward to watching now, or are you watching?
Are you
now?
binging something?
Well, interesting you should say that. I'm just re-binging. Can you re-binge? Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
And people do it all the time. Well, first of all, before I say another word, in case you wanted to know my all-time favorite television show,
Ooh.
I do have one.
Ooh, he's got one.
And that is Twilight Zone.
Wonderful.
My all-time favorite television show.
Favorite episode of the Twilight Zone.
Oh,
I can't help it.
I
gotta
know.
ask.
I can't do one. Certainly one of my all-time favorites was the one with called Walking Distance, where a guy comes, he this advertising executive, he goes back to this he stops over at a gas station. He's right by this town he used to live in, and he just the car breaks down, and he kind of has to get it fixed. He has a couple of hours, so he goes for a walk. He's about a quarter of a mile away from this town. Goes into this old town and walks into this town, but the way it was 50 years ago.
Wow.
50
Yeah.
years
That's
before,
always
not 50 years
my
ago,
favorite.
but
My
30.
favorite To Serve Man.
Oh God, To Serve Man.
That always.
It's a cookbook.
I saw that.
Spoiler alert.
When I saw that episode, I think I was probably like 11, and it just freaked me out when they get there. When it's finally, it's a cookbook, and I'm like, oh crap. Because you just watch all these people, beating, just trying to get ahead of each other to get up there with them.
I just want to tell you, how apropos is it that Marty's favorite TV show is The Twilight Zone?
Yes.
Because he does Courage. Just saying.
Oh, ironic.
With the creepy.
It's sort of ironic.
Don't you think?
That would make sense. And as a matter of fact, to add to that, probably horror as a kid was one of my favorite things, if not it was my favorite thing, horror in general. I loved Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, The Mummy. I loved all the old Universal characters.
Oh, those are wonderful.
Yes. I loved scary movies. I read books, I've become something of an aficionado of all sorts of, I'll even call all sorts of horror in literature, in film, in television. Actually, I would even call myself maybe a mini expert on it to a certain extent.
That's awesome.
Someone will expose that. And that is even more ironic, I think, specifically because Twilight Zone wasn't strictly horror, because sometimes Twilight Zone was just,
it could be creepy, though.
It could be horror, or it could be other things, a lot of philosophical stuff.
Yes.
But
See, there's that psychological twist coming in.
Yes.
Yeah, but the terrifying things, and that I love that, and here it is, I get Courage the Cowardly Dog.
That's awesome, yes.
So that is kind of a bit of an irony, so to speak.
If we had written Marty's life, that would be our dramatic irony.
There you
go. And the fact that he's never got to play a psychologist. So yeah. But
too late.
Okay, so you're binging right now. What are you binging?
Penny Dreadful.
Penny. Oh, wow.
Yes.
Awesome.
Back to my horror roots.
Oh my goodness.
But I am watching.
Have you seen the what is it? The basically the follow-up to that?
Oh, the City of Angels?
City of Angels. I did like the City of Angels. I did not love it. I did not think it was great.
I really liked what it was. It didn't feel like the Penny Dreadful. It's kind of like The Godfather 3 didn't feel like it wasn't the same. Yeah.
Well, because if you don't have Eva Green, well, you don't have Penny Dreadful, in my opinion.
Yes.
Because that character, Vanessa Ives, without Vanessa Ives, she was the glue that held the whole thing together.
The continuity is so different that it doesn't feel quite right.
But I did enjoy it, and I especially enjoyed that, frightening female character who played all those roles. She was great.
We got introduced to her in Game of Thrones.
That's true. She was our Marjorie Tyrell.
In Game of Thrones.
What's her name, the actress?
Wow, I can tell you real quick. You guys,
Sage, you find out what that is, and
I
Marty
will
and I are
find out
going to
what
visit
that
for a few
is.
minutes, guys.
All right.
We are
Gina,
up against
one shot.
we bumped way over the end of the hour, and happily so. I know none of you mind because some of you stuck around after the hour was up and hung out and got Marty's favorite movies and his television binge. Any other shows that you're looking forward to, or that you?
Well, I'm actually watching Breaking Bad. Oh, for the first time, actually.
Really? This is your first time through?
First time through with my son Daniel, and he's 16, and he's turning me. I turned him on to. I turned him on. Well, he turned me on to Walking Dead. So and I'm turning him on now to Sopranos, which is one of, again, I would probably say Sopranos maybe my second favorite television show of all time. And now he's turning me on to Walking Dead. So we do that. So we're binging. We're actually doing dueling. Soprano episode, Walking Dead. Not Walking Dead, sorry. Soprano, Breaking Bad, like that.
It's like before and after picture.
Daniel, I love you, baby. Love you, baby. See, I brought
Natalie
you in on
Dormer.
this thing.
Natalie Dormer is
That's
the young
her,
lady's
Natalie
name,
Dormer.
is the actress's name.
Natalie Dormer.
Natalie
Yes, she was
Dormer,
great.
wonderful actress, and we were introduced to her in Game of Thrones, and then obviously in City of Angels.
Yes.
And we're huge Penny Dreadful fans. I could watch that several times and just never get.
Oh, we have to talk about that at a later
Yeah, I
date.
love the idea of bringing a classic horror monsters that
Wonderful.
really big bads and bringing them all together in one place, kind of in an extraordinary gentleman kind of way, and but doing it centered around that Vanessa Ives character, who's just beautiful, creepy, and just awesome. I just enjoyed it. It really was, guys.
So yeah, I put up Marty Schmutz down there.
Marty's stuff is all down on the bottom. You can find Marty Grabstein on Facebook. You can also find him on IMDb, Twitter, all the social.
No,
media.
not Twitter.
You're on Twitter.
I know it says I'm on Twitter, but I haven't been using it.
Okay.
Yeah, but you
Marty
still
does
have
not
it.
use Twitter.
I just never. I don't know how to use it.
Oh,
Instagram.
We'll have to fix
You
that.
got
So
Instagram.
don't
you got
feel
there.
bad if you contact me on Twitter.
That's
And then
right.
remind
And
everybody-
Straight Out of Nowhere is coming up September 14th.
That's right.
Just a few weeks, 14 days.
Digital and DVD.
Digital and DVD.
That's
So
right.
find that on your favorite digital or DVD provider.
In 14 days.
And one last thing, keep an eye out for Marty at a convention near you.
Yes.
Tell them.
in fact, we're going to see Marty coming up the road here in Florida again. He will be at Ancient City Comic Con.
Ancient City Comic Con on September 10th, 11th, and 12th. I'm going to be in
Nope.
Erie.
No.
No, sorry. Ancient, got it wrong again. Ancient City Comic Con, 17th, 18th, and 19th.
That's
and
the one.
Erie Con in Erie, Pennsylvania, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Come on out to the Comic Cons. You're going to be fine, folks. Come on out and see Marty. Please.
Come on out, see Marty, hang out at Marty's table a little bit. And
Spend
spend some time and get an autograph and
Have some fun, guys.
We had a great print, a cell print from Courage when we went over to.
Yep.
Life is precious, my friends.
It is.
Grab life. Do not allow yourselves to be shut into a basement for the rest of your life. You got to
There you go,
live.
guys. Sound and wise advice from our friend Marty Grabstein. Remember, everybody, stay tuned in and stay logged on and see who we're hanging with next.